Hey guys, be sure to check out the Mortar Pod, our weekly video podcast, and also check out the tutorial video for my board game, Travelers of Storia. Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here for another Swiss M15 draft, and what do you know? Foil a Johnny Steadfast, my first foil Planeswalker, maybe even foil Mythic from all these M15 drafts, so that's a welcome sight. Foil a Johnny. Yeah. Seems like a nice pickup. Other notable picks in here. Inferno Fist, Invasive Species, Swiftclaw, Juggernaut, Titanic Growth, Wall of Mulch. That's about it. What a welcome sight. Mr. Johnny. All foiled out. Alright. Ow. Oh, I got some good choices here. Constricting Sliver, Stoke the Flames, Selfless Cathar. Yeah, I don't think that's on the same level. I guess we're taking the Sliver. Keeps us on point with this Steadfast. Stoke the Flames is a better card. But I had a lot of fun with Constricting Sliver and Sliver Hive. That was pretty awesome. I mean, Stoke the Flames is good too. Stoke the Flames is an awesome card, actually. It's very powerful. Very powerful. 4 damage to the face or to a creature. Pretty good options there. I mean, I could take Stoke the Flames. It is better than Constricting Sliver, but kind of want to make Johnny Steadfast work for sure. Not that he's that great, I guess, now that I think about it. He's alright. I mean, Stoke the Flames certainly better. Constricting Sliver gets better in multiples. I'll go with the Sliver, I guess. Stay on point with the Steadfast. Okay. Well, this pack makes me happy that I didn't take the Stoke the Flames because there's not any good red picks in here. Unfortunately, there's not any really good white picks either. So options are, well, Nightfire Giant is certainly strong, but then am I doing black, white, splash red? No, I should have just taken Stoke the Flames. There's also Living Totem in here. I mean, far and away, Nightfire Giant. Far and away the strongest card in this pack. No doubt. I have had like unusual success with black-white, which is surprising because I typically don't like that color mashup, but I do admit I've had some. That's okay. Keep the current color scheme. I have had a lot of success with it. Green-white I've had probably more success with, but Living Totem is significantly worse than Nightfire Giant. I'm going to take the Giant. There's nothing in here that's like cripplingly good. And if I could make a Nightfire Giant work, I'm going to be happy, you know? Okay. Well, that was a Netcaster, Spider, a Swiftclaw, Jorubai, Murklurker. That's pretty good too. Everything demands the black to make it work. Could take the Evolving Wilds, but so much worse than Spider. Swift Claw. Maggot, Black Cat. I just sort of have to decide where I want to go. Do I want to do black, white? Do I want to do... I don't think we're taking Evolving Wilds just yet. Spider is very good. Very powerful card. And it would direct me a little bit towards green-white. I mean, it's kind of going to make me wish I'd taken the Totem, but at the same time, I could just take the Swiftclaw, but Swiftclaw is certainly worse than Spider. I'm going to go with Spider this time. If green-white's open, I'm going to want to be in it. Alright, a couple powerful blue picks. Getting a little bit all over the board, though, which I don't want. We can take the Maggot here. It opens us up a little bit more into Nightfire Giant territory. Maggot's a good card. Otherwise, I'm taking Into the Void and Turned Frog. But then I'm starting to direct myself towards blue, which I don't really like. It's not that I dislike blue. I've got all these other irons in the fire that I kind of want to focus on at this point. Either making Nightfire Giant work or directing myself towards Spider. And obviously making the white work. Let's take the Maggot. It's better than... Oppressive Raise isn't that great. It's okay. I liked it a lot more at the early on in the format. I don't dislike it now, but I wish it was a little bit better. All right, Curse Spirit's fine pickup here. No white picks is a bit disconcerting. Maybe I'm just going black-red, I guess. If white completely dries up, I might just have to go black-red, but at least the Nightfire Giant's a little more justified then. All right, we could take Evolving Wilds here. Otherwise, crowds favor if I'm going to be playing black-red, but I'm not 100% on that yet. Also a Roaring Primadox, but let's take the Evolving Wilds, get a little bit of fixing. Possibly go 3-color. You can splash Steadfast and Sliver like very easily, I think. All right, Paragon seems like a safe pick. Black, that's a super late Paragon, and we've already got some decent, black picks going on. Willforge Golem's also okay, but let's take the Lord. I'm all right with that. Shield of the Avatar Table. I think this card's actually playable. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Makes any of your guys decent blockers if you end up with enough creatures. Decent attackers too. What I like about this is it basically makes multi-blocks a lot worse too. Not only does it make your guy a good blocker, but it makes him a good attacker, because if they double block each blocker basically gets 1 damage weaker. Or a lot damage weaker, I guess, depending on how many creatures you have. So Shield of the Avatar is actually a legitimate spell. As is Shadow Cloak Vamp. I guess we'll take that. That's a late Coral Barrier. But let's take the Shadow Cloak Vamp. I actually like that card. Sign in Blood seems reasonable. All the white dried up, so maybe we're going... I was thinking red, but I guess Shaman of Spring's better here. Mind Rot. Okay. So I guess I'd still like to make black-red work, just solely for the Nightfire Giant, but white definitely dried up real fast. So I don't think Sliver and Steadfast are necessarily going to be the play, in which case we could just try for Jund, which is fine. I don't have any problems with Jund. I kind of wanted to make a Johnny and Constricting Sliver work, but we just might not have the luxury. So we could just focus on black-green, splash red for Nightfire Giant value. I'm probably okay with that. Now I wish I'd taken the Stoke the Flames, but I guess Stoke the Flames would have been a little bit more difficult to cast if it was just, splashing for the red. Well, Court of Calling's worth a couple tickets, and it's just a good card, so we could take that. Living Totem, Ancient Silverback are fine, although we actually have some very good finishers already. We picked up our finishers in pack 1, so kind of want the support. Child of Night is great, but Court of Calling is a legitimately just awesome spell. And if I'm going to be green, because I have a Spider and a Shaman, that was a super late Shaman and a fairly late Spider. That could be enough indication that green is available. So let's take the Cord, because it's worth a couple tickets and it's a powerful card. And I guess let's hide white at this point. I'm just not thinking that's going to work. Let's go for the black-green and splash the red. Flesh to Dust seems fine. Do already have a few 5-drops, but Flesh to Dust a little bit too good to pass since it's hard removal. Let's see here. Gather Courage is a great spell. Bronze Sable is a cheap creature, though, which I probably need, especially since this blocks Intimidators. Crippling Blight is also okay, but we are actually in need of some cheap creatures. Just we're not doing anything on the low end. I do love Gather Courage, but I'm going to take the Bronze Sable here. Get a cheap dude that we can play. Okay, Ulcerate, fantastic removal. Invasive Species is ordinarily good. We don't really have any into the battlefield. I guess Maggot. That's actually a decent Invasive Species piece of synergy. I think it's pretty easy Ulcerate, though. Get dat removal. Alright, so could take the Ranger's Guile. Admittedly, not that exciting. I think we're just taking Witch's Familiar. Great blocker. 2 3s for 3. Usually very good. In the case of Netcaster or Spider, a little bit better, but that's okay. We're in need of some cheap creatures, and Witch's Familiar is right at the cusp of being cheap enough. Sunblade Elf. Should I go for the 4 color? Feels very greedy. Probably because it is. Splash a mountain, splash a... I mean, if I get Verdant Haven, I guess I could theoretically make them both work between that and Evolving Wilds. But, I don't know. Court of Calling's pretty color intensive. Sunblade Elf. If I got Verdant... I mean, honestly, we're not passing anything else. We're passing a Witch's Familiar. That is a very powerful effect. And then I can play a Johnny. I'm going to try it. I know it's greedy, but... it's so much more powerful than everything else in here. All right, Wayfinder. If we're... oh, there's Gravedigger in here too. Jeez. I think we actually need the color fixing, but Gravedigger's so good. We need cheap creatures too. That's the issue. Okay, I think we got to take the Wayfinder over the Gravedigger. Ordinarily, Gravedigger, under any other circumstances, Gravedigger is so much better. But if we're literally trying to make a Sunblade Elf and a Nightfire Giant work in here somehow, let's just take the Wayfinder, find our colors. Titanic Growth is reasonable, and there's nothing else in here, so we'll take it. Let's hide the Mind Rot. I'm not a huge fan. Someone mentioned Feast on the Fallen. I need to consider this. I don't really like it. Not quite proactive enough. Maybe if it was +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, I'd like a little more. I think we're going to take Plummet for sideboard. Zoffshade, not really digging it in this deck. We've already got a ton of expensive stuff. And Plummet is just very good for dealing with like Avacyn and that one angel that resets your life back up to whatever. Let's take Familiar number 2 over the Necromancer's Assistant. Assistant is very good if you have Unmake the Graves, which we don't. Witch's Familiar just blocks a little bit better. I don't think we need the Moss Beast. Kind of already have pretty good finishers. Just still looking for cheap stuff. I don't think we have enough zombies to make this work. Is he a zombie? Skeleton. Let's take the Necrobite. Is he a zombie? He is. But why would I ever discard him? Black Cat. This deck needs it. We need some more cheap stuff. We've already got a Sign in Blood, so we're good on that front. Neither of these cards matter, really. Ooh, Witch's Familiar. That's pretty nice. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. I mean, we're doing a weird thing because we're doing Wayfinder Evolving Wilds. This deck actually needs a Verdant Haven now, and ooh, geez, solid white picks. Craziest white open ever. I think it's pretty easy Covenant of Blood for us. Some more solid removal. And on color, at the very least. I mean, yeah, I planned on splashing white, but we don't have to. If we can make black, green, red splash work, I'd prefer to do that than just tossing a white source in for Sunblade Elf. But then again, if I get Verdant Haven, I will do both. I promise you that. So green is actually the right place to be when you're trying to make that work. I mean, Siege Worm's a good finisher, but I think we just got to take the Stab Wound. This will be our 23rd card, too. Yeah, we just want the Stab Wound because it's an amazing card in general. Works really well in this format. It's good against us. And I think we have enough finishers already where I don't need the Siege Worm. It's always welcome when I'm in green, but Stab Wound actually is a little bit better for us, I think. Okay, Typhoid Rats, Venom Sliver. Another Evolving Wilds. All of those are fine. I'm kind of feeling the Typhoid Rats. Venom Sliver is better if I for sure was going to get a Sliver Hive or something. Or if I for sure was going to play Constricting Sliver, which I'm not 100% convinced to that yet. But Typhoid Rats is just cheaper and does the same thing. I mean, am I going to play a Johnny and Constricting Sliver? You know, it's actually possible. In which case, I probably just pick up the Venom Sliver then. It's got better synergy with the Constricting Sliver. Alright, I'll take the Venom Sliver. It's one more mana, I know, but we could end up with a Verdant Haven or something like that. We might actually want the double Paragon at this point. We got Black Cat, triple Witch's Familiar, and some pretty good 5 drops. We also have Carrion Crow, which is fine. And another Venom Sliver, which is good. But, I don't know, I'm feeling the Paragon here. I actually am feeling the Paragon. Living Totem, always good. Buffing stuff, I dig it. Yeah, let's take the Living Totem. Child of Night, it's a very welcome sight in here with double Paragon. Leeching Sliver's kind of cool with our Venom, but not going to do that. Yeah, let's do the Child. Get that lifelink. Alright, well, second Evolving Wilds. I'm starting to feel... Oh, Restock is very good too, though, especially with the Wayfinder. How did we not get a Verdant Haven? I guess it's not too late. There's still a chance we could see a Verdant Haven, but... I think we've already got so much expensive stuff. I'm not really feeling Restock. Restock's good, but it would make a little more sense if I had more than one Wayfinder, or if I had Necromancer's Assistant in here. Restock is very good value, though, but I'm going to take the Evolving Wilds. I'm going to try and get my fixing on and make this deck ridiculous. Leeching Sliver, Carrion Crow, Crippling Blight. Double Paragon makes the Carrion Crow the best pickup, I think. None of these cards really matter. Ephemeral Shields can be very annoying, so I think I'm going to take that. Negate can be annoying too, but the Shields is more annoying because it can be free. Well, we did get the Assistant. Bloodhost, I mean, not bad. Kind of already have enough expensive stuff. Then again, we already have enough 3 drops. Guess we just take... I actually think we take the Hot Soup for sideboard, because that card can be very useful when they've got your... Oh, and then we table Typhoid Rats. That's weird. Alright, well, that's easy enough. I guess. Don't want to lose to Lava Axe. Don't want to lose to Fugitive Wizard, although that would be sad. Okay, so this is interesting. I've got some goods in here for sure. Like we didn't get a Verdant Haven, which does suck. I really wanted that Verdant Haven, but it's not a huge deal. It's not like a crazy huge deal. We can still get away with running probably 1 Plains, 1 Mountain with double Evolving Wilds, and then just distribute the rest as the rest of our deck. We have to figure out what we want to cut. So here's the deal. If we're gonna make 4-color nonsense work, I think there's some cards we just can't play. For example, Court of Calling. That's not going to work. Sign in Blood. Not really interested. I want to keep my colored spells to a minimum. Flesh of Dust gets the exception because it's obviously a very strong spell. Let me separate stuff here real quick. I'm going to take the Evolving Wilds out for now just to keep a better, more accurate count of my my deck. Okay, so we're clunky in the 4 drops. I think one of these has to go, and it's probably Shaman. Not that I do actually enjoy the Shaman quite a bit, but like I said, we're a little bit clunky already. Living Totem's a little bit more proactive and blocks better. I like the +1/+1 counter a little bit more. Necrobite can definitely go. It's a pretty expendable spell in general. Shield of the Avatar is pretty good when you got 19 creatures, which we do, which is a ton of creatures, by the way. Maybe we don't need all of these Witches Familiars, but they are pretty good with the Paragons. Black Cat's not super good, but it's cheap, which is kind of the reason I want it. We can easily play 1 Mountain, but I do admittedly kind of want to make a Johnny work. I know it's greedy, but what can I say? I'm a greedy dude. We can probably get away with running a couple white sources if I do splash a Johnny. I think it's worth it. Even if it's not worth it, it's cool. Right? Right? Removal is Ulcerate, Stab Wound, Flesh Dust, Covenant. That's pretty good. Maybe we don't need the Titanic Growth, but yeah, I guess we don't. It's not essential. I just feel like creatures are easier to cut. Actually, lower on green than I realized. But this is an odd deck. I kind of like it, but it is very odd. So all of our black creatures are kind of important because of the double Paragon. They're very important. Which I suppose is another reason to take the Typhoid Rats over the Sliver, but then we table the Typhoid Rats, so it doesn't even matter. Both of our Death Touchers are going to be so good with a Shield of the Avatar. That's like a big reason to keep the shield, but I kind of understand. Even on a Spider, geez, that is very good. Let's cut the Titanic Growth. As much as I like that, we're kind of in a different little mindset. Kind of want the Constricting Sliver to be in here. I know it's greedy, but it's more removal. Works with our Venom Sliver in a positive way. It's a fairly simple splash. So I have to make 3 cuts. Um, hmm. Let's cut. I'm going to put over potential cuts here. So shield is a potential cut. As cool as the card is, I guess it's a little more situational. We can probably get away with cutting 1 Witch's Familiar, because it's not like it's an amazing card. It's better in here because of the double Paragon, but I think you need the Spider. The Spider's got to stop the Flyers. We don't have a lot of means to stop Flyers beyond our removal spells, of course, and a Shadow Cloak Vamp, so kind of want those. I think these 2 are going to get the axe. And then I just need 1 more cut to really comfortably play this deck. And I guess a creature. Maybe the Sable. Actually, I guess Black Cat. But then again, Black Cat might be better main deck. Actually, let me count for our Paragons. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, technically 9, 10, 11. Well, we have enough, I guess. Alright, I guess we'll cut the Black Cat. As good as it is with double Paragon, Bronze Sable. Alright, I flip-flop my choices. We'll do the Black Cat main deck. We can sideboard into the Sable. People don't like to attack into Black Cat, understandably, and that's why it's kind of more valuable to us. People don't like attacking into Bronze Sable if they have Intimidators, but I'm not sure they will have Intimidators. All right, so yeah, it's a pretty squirrely looking deck, but I actually think it's pretty decent if we can get fixed correctly. Because like I said, you'll note we're not very color intensive in any direction. We have 1 spell that requires double color, and it's Flesh Dust, and black is our base color. So we can totally get away with doing some weird 4-color splashing. Let's combine groups again. All right. So I do want the 1 mountain for our Nightfire Giant. 1 mountain. We'll go down to, I think, 8 swamps. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Am I still? Yeah, I'm still short one. So I should get one more forest. Okay, so then we'll have double evolving wilds, 6 sources of green, 3 sources of red, which is negligent. We don't need the red. 4 sources of white for our 3 spells that require it. That's pretty good. And then 10 sources of black with the double evolving wild. Yeah, this is a greedy deck, but it looks fun. I don't feel like if we get steamrolled, I'm super butthurt either, because we've got the foil of Johnny that I'm going to promptly sell, and we have Court of Calling, which is worth a couple tickets. So this is sort of a fun draft, actually. I think this deck could do really well. I mean, we have very powerful effects in here. I mean, Nightfire Giant can steal a game with our red source. Sunblade Elf can certainly steal games. Johnny Steadfast can. Got very good, versatile removal. Stab Wound and Ulcerate, Covenant, Constricting Sliver, Flesh of Dust. Lot going on there. I'm a little concerned 6 sources of green isn't enough, but we only have 5 green spells in the entire deck, All right, so this is it's a greedy deck, but it actually looks like a lot of fun. Regardless of whether we do good with it or not, it looks like a fun deck. So I'm going to run it like this. I hope you guys enjoy this draft. This should be interesting at the very least, and we'll see you round 1.